In 2015, I thru-hiked the Appalachian Trail, which is 2,200 miles long and extends all the way from Georgia to Maine through 14 US states. I was 28 years old and I hadn't really traveled much before this trip. It was definitely a new beginning for me.
Here it is, North Carolina-Georgia border. One state down, 13 to go. Really need that off day, really need a shower. I reek, man. I smell so bad. About 250 miles in, and with days like this is not getting old. Yesterday was tough. It was in the rain, did about 8 miles. It was tough getting into the shelter. My feet were soaked. Had to set up my tent like in the rain, and the storm woke me up at like 3 in the morning, and it was just coming down like crazy. Never really know what's up over that hill. That's what's so cool about this whole thing. I really want to see this through to the end. Quarter waypoint, man. I don't really have that much hiking experience, but sometimes you just gotta jump in, man. Just had my first bear sightings. There was 4 bears. I just saw 4 fucking bears. There's so much stuff that has happened, so I'm trying to document this as much as possible, but I'm using my body, I'm using my mind. You just feel so alive out here. Got my new shoes on, man. They're ridiculous, yellow colored trail runners. Did about 725 miles in these, man. My first pair of boots down. We stepped in a lot of shit together. Just cool looking south, knowing that you walked through the mountains that whole way. It's a cool feeling, man. 1,000 miles. I can't believe I've made it this far, man. So I'm officially in West Virginia now, making my way towards Harper's Ferry, historic town. Have hair. Pretty cool to go into DC. It's a little shock, you know, being out in the wilderness for over 2 months and then going to a big city like Washington, DC. Maryland, it's been great. Nice and flat. Your shelters are beautiful. People are awesome. Had a lot of trail magic. Here I am, man. Maryland, Pennsylvania border. It's crazy to think that at one time in this country, we were at war with one another. Crossing over into New York City for the 4th of July, hopefully. So, ow. American flag in the background. Finishing the trail is something I definitely want to do. You're gonna have to throw a lot of days like this, worse days like this at me if you think I'm gonna quit this easily. Connecticut, woo! I just saw a sign for a clam bake. We're definitely in New England. Gonna have to talk in my Boston accent from now on. Hoping that rain holds off. Still got another peak to go over today. I will say the forest seems a lot more dense in New England. Like, look at that. Could be a bear 15 feet away from me right now. I would have no idea. 500 miles left in this thing. That is not good. Don't want to get caught up here in a lightning storm. Cold up here. I'm up on Mount Lincoln right now. But That's Franconia Ridge. That's where I was up on yesterday. Kind of the same conditions. Kind of clearing out, man. I don't know. Still a beautiful day. Hoping it really clears out for Mount Washington. I've reached the Lakes of the Clouds hut, and that must be Mount Washington. Looks like it is gonna be clouding out. This has been some of the hardest hiking I've ever done. Hands down the hardest. I mean, I'm just sweating like crazy non-stop, and then I get up top, I'm cold, and the climbs are just, I mean, they're just some of the steepest climbs I've ever done. I mean, this is a tough part, and it knocks a lot of people off the trail that started down in Georgia. I made it to Maine. Even if I can't make it to Katahdin for whatever reason, I've officially hiked from Georgia to Maine. Did you notice the new pack? Had a zipper break on my last pack, and Osprey just straight up replaced it for free. Straight up sent me a pack, man, no hassle. In 2,000 miles, man, holy shit. No, I know I'm gonna, when I get home, I know I'm gonna miss days being out on the trail and just living an adventure, man. That's what I feel like I've been doing for the last 5 months, is truly living every day to its fullest. This thing is coming to an end very rapidly, and it's sort of a weird feeling. It's pretty windy up here. Beautiful views though. This is the top of Barren Mountain. Woo! It's right here in front of me now. I've only ever seen pictures of it. It seems fake. Seems like this isn't real. 2 miles left of this thing, but they're gonna be tough miles. This was a good decision to come to this park, man. I kind of just threw 10 days worth of food into a bag, and I figure I'm gonna just camp. It's just a good way to kind of unwind and think about my whole through hike and what my next move is and where I'm gonna be living next. I really have no idea. It was really nice to get my feet on some salt water after a long day of hiking. One of my favorite national parks here in Australia. It's so easily accessible too if you ever come down here. It's only a 2-hour train ride from Sydney. What I love about Australia is it's easy to get to a remote place. This is the first time I've ever driven on the left side of the road, and it's fucking weird as shit. Where do you keep your eggs? As an American over here walking around down under, that's really cool. Come across goannas, kangaroos, crazy looking birds, all kind of cool stuff down here. Scientists think there's only about 12 to 1,500 of these endangered species left in Australia. Sorry about the camera work here. These birds can be aggressive, and I really had no idea what it was gonna do. He was probably just admiring our car's sweet Ren and Stimpy paint job. Forest is so thick at sunset that no sunlight is getting through here. It's different than the Appalachian Trail or even many other places here in Australia. I'm up here on the top of Mount Sonder in Australia's Northern Territory, and yeah, I'm just gonna do a hike end to end of the Larapinta Trail. It's 224 kilometers, or I think that's about 136 miles. Basically, the trail goes from Mount Sonder all the way to the town of Alice Springs, which is east of here. Oh, look, there's some shade. I kind of regret not bringing a hat. I can already feel the sun just beating on me. Day 6 here on the Larapinta Trail. Pretty sure I'm going the right way. Can always double back. And now we go up. Go up that. A lot of cool rock scrambles on this trail. Only got about 7 more miles or so into Alice Springs down there. I don't really think that I had this plan to do when I came to Australia. I just started looking up long distance trails in Australia, and I knew I was going to make it to this area to go to Uluru, Catachuta, Kings Canyon, and I figured, well, it's a terrain like nowhere else I've ever been. It's a really beautiful trail. If you're ever out in this area of Australia, I definitely recommend it. Get a real sense of remoteness out here. Australia is also home to the giant magnetic termite mounds. These enormous structures are aligned magnetically with the poles of the Earth, and each mound can house tens of thousands of individual termites. It is still a mystery as to just how and why these insects align their homes with the poles of the Earth. Just climbed Mount Kosciuszko. Now I'm gonna look for a place to stay for the night. There's something about hiking that just makes your mind, I don't know, it's a really good way for me to clear my head is to come out and just do a couple days in the mountains. Day 2 on the coastal track. It's a beautiful day. Like my own little private beach right now. So yeah, this was where I camped last night. It's a nice quiet spot for the most part. I would also hear like a lot of kangaroos jumping by, like really close to my tent. It'd be like dum dum dum. Found a really cool spot. Oh yeah, that's cool. Look at him all puffing up. Alright man, I'm leaving. I just messed up and I got kicked out of the cockatoo party. Alright guys, I don't want any trouble, alright? I'm leaving, man. I'm leaving. Look at all that steam coming out. I've not seen that. First time hiking around an active volcano. Man, I think I'm gonna like this country. Welcome to the South Island. Good old day at doing nothing. Sometimes that's good. Just staring off into the beautiful. So I am currently in an old abandoned gold mine tunnel. I can imagine just working in here all day, just trying to find a piece of metal. Look at that, man, there's a glacier. This is the first glacier I've ever seen. It used to be way down here. Now it has receded up into the valley. I think I may have taken a wrong turn. It's pretty deep here, pretty fast moving, but there's kind of a break right there, so. This is the coldest river crossing I've ever done. Where we gotta go. I think this is the last big uphill. Famous last words. Why do you keep going up? Thought I was almost there. Spectacular. A little muddy. I don't know what's next, man. But right now, I'm walking to town. We just got word of Donald Trump being elected. It's been an interesting perspective living over here during an election year. I'm glad that I was out and away from this election especially. All of a sudden, I'm in the forest. No idea trees this massive were here. I had no idea redwood trees were in New Zealand. Apparently they planted these in around 1899. Here they are, 2017. Massive trees. I'm gonna be returning to America soon, back to the empire, and describe what it feels like. Feels like hay, soft hay, or the hair of a Barbie doll. They really stick out, kind of like those cattails on the Appalachian Trail. So let's feel one. What do you think they feel like? I'm gonna guess they're kind of squishy. Kind of like a velvet rope. was badass.
High five, man.
Badass,
well
man.
done.
Dude,
yeah.
thank you so much. That was awesome. Gonna miss this country. Another beautiful place to take a piss. This will be it for the South Island for me. This is a good place to kind of top it off. I'm here in Dublin, Ireland. I'm really excited to be here in Europe and in Dublin. Today I'm catching a bus, I'm going to Limerick. I'm gonna try and track down my ancestry there. That's kind of where the region where my family is from. I've never seen such a full rainbow. I've seen like 10 rainbows. I've only been in Ireland for like 2 days. You know, definitely coming to the Cliffs of Moher this time of year. There's way less crowds. I would imagine if you came here in the summer, there would be people all over the place. It's probably the coolest spot in Ireland, right here. And it only cost me $3.30 on the bus. Another cold day in Ireland, but today I'm gonna visit a cool castle known as Castle Trim. It looked a lot different in its day. So this castle was built like into a hill. So on the other side, you know, it's like way up there, almost where that window is. You can see that they would just be at ground level and they could easily shoot down on anybody trying to get in.
Beware of pickpockets.
I'm down here on the Tiber River in Rome, Italy. Last night, there was like these feral cats outside that were like, meow, meow. This cat like kept meowing. And then like this guy came into the hostel and he started barfing. He started like throwing up really loud in the toilet. So it was like, blah, meow, blah, meow. I know I'm not gonna be able to see everything here in Rome, and I'm just trying to make the most of my time that I have here. But I've kind of been sick, just travel germs, you know? First time to a new country, whatever, it's part of traveling. That happened to me in Australia too. I got like really sick for like a week. Hopefully that doesn't keep happening to me throughout this trip, because I'm, you know, hopping countries every couple weeks. I'm here in Venice, Italy. Just got off the train and started walking, and now I'm completely lost. I'm on the Cinque Terre. These feel like solid plastic straws. Yeah, man, I gotta shout out the trail work on this one. Some old school arch bridge work. Look at it. It's impressive. Wonder how old it is. This is one of the oldest roads in the world, the Appian Way. So after spending a few weeks in Italy, I flew down to Athens, Greece, and was only there for a week. I kind of just did a lot of the touristy stuff. So visiting the Acropolis, a lot of the other ancient sites in the city. Yeah, seeing the Parthenon too was really cool. That was really cool to me because I'm originally from Nashville, Tennessee. Nashville, Tennessee is home to the world's only full-scale replica of the Parthenon. I thought that was really cool. At this point in my travels, I think I was just ready to be moving on to somewhere with some warmer weather. I actually got to see it snow when I was in Athens, which was pretty cool, but I kind of just used Athens as a quick stopover before Southeast Asia. The flight from Athens to Bangkok was super cheap, so if anybody's looking to do a similar travel route, this is stopping over in Athens is a good option. This is my last day in Greece, so tomorrow I fly to Bangkok. My last day in Europe. Been a good trip, my first time in Europe. I really enjoyed Greece. I would love to come back here in the summer too and do some exploring of the islands. You know, skipping through Europe, I've seen so many places and I wanna come back and go to all these other places. That's the thing with travel, is like you find a place that you wanna go and then you wanna come back and go explore it even more. There's too many places.
Κυρίες και κύριοι, καλώς ορίσατε στην Αθήνα. Σας παρακαλούμε να παραμείνετε στις θέσεις σας με τις ζώνες ασφαλείας.
Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, kita akan mendarat sebentar lagi. Sila kembali ke tempat duduk, tegakkan tempat duduk, pasangkan.
Yeah, this is my first vlog from Southeast Asia. I flew into Bangkok, spent about 3 days there. It's a super massive city. Getting around was a headache. I mean, at least for me, being there, maybe if I were to spend more time there, I could really get used to it, but like I tried to go somewhere and the bus just never came. But you just gotta be able to roll with shit here in Southeast Asia, and that's what I'm gonna do for the next like 2 months. I'm just using my GoPro, this cheap lavalier mic, and my phone to make these videos, but that's kind of all you really need, I think. And I feel like investing in like a good camera or traveling with an expensive, editing laptop is gonna change the way I have to travel, and it's also money that I could use on traveling. So I just feel like that's not something I want to do at this point, but maybe that's something I can do in the future. The night markets, yeah. There's night markets in like every city here in Thailand, and I've been going to as many as I can. And I ate bugs for the first time. They were like sauteed bugs. They had like some oil and some spices on them, so they were cooked. They were pretty good. It tasted kind of like boiled peanuts. Yesterday, I rented my first motorbike. I've never ridden one. It's definitely a game changer. It's so beautiful riding around on them. Yeah, there's a lot of travelers here, so I've just been meeting a lot of really cool people from all over. And last night, like the word on the street, I guess if I can use that term loosely, was a big jungle party where you pay like somebody like 300 baht and they drive you out to this area and there's like a party. Maybe 5 years or 10 years ago, I would love to have done something like that, but it just sounds like a place where you go and just get hammered. And I'm like, that's not what I'm into anymore. A little warm in the jungle. I don't know if you can see that, but that's the view of downtown Chiang Mai. It's kind of foggy / pollution-y.
Bye, พี่น้อยเดินหน้า หยุดเลยถึงตู้สิ
in the Cameron Highlands of Malaysia. Monkeys in the tree. Trying to locate this bird, but it's so loud I can't pinpoint where it's coming from. So I flew back into Thailand, landing in Phuket after my travels in Malaysia.
พยายามดูให้กว้างๆมือขวาทางขวาอีกครับทางขวาอีกทีนึงมือขวาทางขวาอีกทีนึงไม่ใช่ทางขวาอีกทีนึงใช่พี่ดูแล้วเอ็นตัวมาทางซ้ายหมดเลยเอ็นตัวมาทางซ้ายแขนขวาตึงอ่ะพี่
I really want to do some more scuba dives for this channel. Really hoping to do some more wreck dives. Maybe I can get my wreck dive certification, but also want to get back into some hikes.
Xuống sân bay Nội Bài, giờ địa phương bây giờ là 12 giờ 15 phút. Nhiệt độ bên ngoài vào khoảng 18 độ C. Xin cảm ơn và kính chào tạm biệt.
I found it amazing to see just how much stuff people load and balance on a motorbike here. It's really quite impressive to witness in person, and I'm sure a lot of businesses in Hanoi depend on getting goods delivered in this manner. Unfortunately, I also saw a lot of people riding motorbikes without helmets. Even children and sometimes entire families riding one motorbike together with no helmet.
There goes another kid on a bike, no helmet.
Yeah.
I'm on the island of Cat Ba here in northeastern Vietnam. In about 2 weeks, I'll be back in the United States, kind of looking for work again. It's definitely been a fun trip. I'm really glad that I decided to do this. Just walking around Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi was an experience in and of itself. Another thing I wanted to bring up was just as an American traveling around Vietnam, I kind of feel obligated to bring up the Vietnam War, or as they call it in Vietnam, they call it the American War. Here in the trenches, literally. it kind of feels like it's still on a lot of people's minds there, and especially talking to other backpackers in hostels, you know, when they meet another American there, it kind of becomes a topic of conversation. Vietnam is a nation that's seen a lot of war, and I think that they kind of just view Americans as sort of just the latest of a long line of aggressors who've tried to force them into submission. And as an American over there walking around, I gotta tell you that I experienced zero animosity towards me from any Vietnamese person while I was over there. I felt very welcome in Vietnam, and I think that speaks a lot to the Vietnamese character and just who they are as a people. If I do another trip like this again, I think I would rather spend longer in one country, because I just feel like 8 different countries in 4 months. That's a lot of moving around. I mean, for me, 7 of the 8 countries were new places that I'd never been to. So you do get a lot of variety when you travel like that, but I feel like by the time I was getting used to a place, I was moving on to the next one. So what is next for this channel? Well, I don't know. I'm currently in the Nashville, Tennessee area. This is where I was raised, and I am looking to move elsewhere to work. It's almost sunset. You can probably see the shadow on my face here. I'll give you a glimpse of what it's like driving directly into the west at sunset. Here it is. Hard to see, right? Riding off in the sunset, oh yeah. Entering Arizona. I'm here in Flagstaff, Arizona. I drove from Nashville, Tennessee. I think it's around 1,500 miles. This is my first time to the southwestern United States, so I think it was just cool for me to see that. This is like a whole new landscape for me, so really excited to be out here. On my way to the Grand Canyon. Never been here. I'm gonna try and record my face while I look at it for the first time. Holy shit.
Maybe
Gonna do Horseshoe Mesa today. So 11th of September, still gonna watch the heat. A lot to consider here. I don't have too much experience here in the canyon. Starting to look different now that I'm like eye level with it. Dude, this canyon just humbled the f out of me today. I had like a heat scare. I just started feeling hot. I was getting dizzy. I was definitely like scared there for a minute. Yeah, this canyon's no joke, man. Made it to the shade. I guess I should have listened when the lady at the visitor center told me this is one of the hardest trails in the whole canyon. Maybe not a good first choice. Starting to feel like re-energized. I think I'm gonna be all right. We're gonna climb out of this fucker. Definitely gotta respect this place. So this is my apartment here in Flagstaff. Not much going on. It's pretty bare. You can see all the cool decorations back here. Okay.
But we're going there too.
There we go. And just all these heads looking at me. It's crazy. Dude, look how far I've come. Fucking South Rim way over there. Well, it's getting dark.
Hopefully I can get to this campsite soon enough. It's such a different canyon when you go down in it. It's like from the top, your eyes will play tricks on you. It's like you're looking down into the canyon as if it's like a painting. But when you're down here, you're looking up at it all, and it's you really get a sense of the scale. Yeah, it's really cold. It is deeper than I thought. Oh my God, it's cold. Good. That's where we gotta go. All the way up today. Yeah, man, I miss this lifestyle. Just waking up and walking every day. Can't wait to get out through hiking again. This is my new place. I live in a purple room now. And today I'm going up to Zion National Park. All right, let's go check out this cliff. Whoa, okay. Yeah, there's Angel's Landing. Sweet. Yeah, that's a long way down. Attempt number 2, Angel's Landing.
Well, hey, I thought the view was good looks. James, stop it.
I think going down is scarier. Oh man, I am out of hiker shape for sure. Nice little bench right here. I'm not sure what peaks those are, but that would be looking towards kind of the northwest. And you can see the San Francisco peaks over there on the horizon. Mount Humphreys is the tallest peak in Arizona. Gonna hike up Humphreys in a couple weeks probably. Fellas, thanks for coming. Good job. Good work.
Yeah.
Fist bumps all around.
Long way.
Good job. How do you build a trail through a lava field with such sharp, jagged rocks like that? But honestly, pretty impressive. So props to whoever is involved with building that trail. You know, Arizona just continues to blow me away with how diverse it is. Just coming from the East Coast, I was thinking it was mostly like desert, scrubby land. But I mean, we're definitely in like a kind of a pine forest right now. Yeah, just continues to amaze me, this place. Superstitions. I'm gonna officially become a West Coaster today. I'm gonna eat at In-N-Out Burger. Never eaten there. Lived here in Arizona for a year and a half, but today is the day. That'll be much deserved after today's hike, I think. Dude with this hammock up here is just chilling. Cactus right here, it's like, come on, put your dukes up. You ready to go? And then you look at this guy over here. He's got like little tiny arms. Come on, put your dukes up. He's got his little homies with him. Quite the experience, huh? We did it, y'all. We made it to the In-N-Out Burger. I'm about to eat this. It's been hyped up by so many people.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Dude, I'm not kidding you. There's a fucking owl right here. I gotta show you. Dude, he's looking right at me. Whoa. He's just watching me eat my In-N-Out burger. See, hear him? There it is, Tom's thumb. I guess it kind of looks like a thumb. Maybe more like that. Yeah. Here there's good views of the top, possibly a tower as well. This plaque here says it was built in 1937. It's a little rickety. Well, it has a lock on it. It says keep out. The tower is just built, you know, 80 years ago. There's the town of Williams. And you can see the San Francisco peaks over there. There's the tallest mountain in Arizona. For some reason, going up a steep hill in this car, it just starts making like a I really want to do the PCT in 2020, so I don't want to buy a new car right now. Somebody drew an alien head on this wall here. Clearly evidence of aliens in this area, so gotta keep my eyes peeled. Headed up to the tallest mountain in Arizona. Starting to get a little bit more covered in snow as we gain elevation. Not really what you expect of Arizona in June, is it? Almost at just about 12,000 feet right now. See the peak. Pretty sure that's it up there. That's Humphreys Peak. Made it, man, Humphreys Peak. 12,633 feet. Beautiful day. It's a little smoky that way, so I'm gonna head down. So I'm hoping this wind doesn't blow the smoke this way. There's a fire over that way too. That's looking north towards like the Grand Canyon, which apparently you can see on a clear day, but the smoke is blocking it. Nothing like some good old-fashioned Spam. Yeah, it's one of my favorite trail foods.
You pull your foot out, just pull it out slowly, you know? Like.
Oh yeah, I feel it. It's like sucking.
This isn't like super dangerous stuff, but like,
okay,
you can at least get a feel for it. Yeah, so you can get a feel for what it's like, you know?
Way to go, team. Yeah.
Good job, man.
Sometimes it just looks fake in here. I know this camera does not do it justice, but it's so incredibly beautiful in here. Looks like all uphill tomorrow. Supposedly there's some pretty good little scramble sections, so we'll see. I already know where I'm gonna stay. There's some really nice camp spots over here. Yeah, man, check out this campsite. Pretty good little spot, right? There's nobody here but me, man. Today, we're hiking up. We're going up the Grand Canyon today, all day. I think my calves might explode. Pretty sure on the map it looked like I go through this canyon, so yeah, I'll go up here and check it out. Shit. Dude, that was a steep climb out of there. In between like this little narrow canyon here on the Boucher Trail. Definitely some sketchy climbs. I would not want to go down this way. Never ceases to amaze me, this place. Yeah. Yeah, you might be in trouble if you go down there. So for those of you who have been following this channel for a while, you'll know that I was planning to do a thru hike of the Pacific Crest Trail in a few months, but I'm officially throwing in the towel on that hike due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The risk of infecting small trail communities that I would come across along the way is just not something that I can do in good conscience, and there's so many other risks with supply chains being disrupted, myself possibly getting sick on the trail. So yeah, it just wasn't meant to be this year. I'm gonna be doing a 4-day, 3-night trip here in the Kachina Peaks Wilderness and also along the Arizona Trail. That's where I'm trying to head tonight. That's Humphreys Peak. So I'm trying to head just below the summit there. Not a bad spot for a little break. This is Schultz Tank, and it's the start of the Weatherford Trail. Worried about how windy it might be up there. Last night I had to hang my food bag, anchored it to a rock. Last time I was up here, this was buried in snow. So hard to believe I'm in Arizona in June. Every time I come up here, I always think that. I'm gonna get some snow water up here. Whoa. Yeah, there we go. I should be able to hike down with that. Almost unbelievable how much calmer it is on this side of the mountain, like in terms of the wind. I feel like I've been at the beach all day on a windy day. I'm gonna try to hang my bear bag on that branch up there. We're gonna see if I still got it. I feel like I got pretty good at this on the Appalachian Trail, but last night was a good view of the stars. Actually, tonight will be as well. That's what's awesome about backpacking in Arizona, is there's almost always a starry night. A little pasta primavera tonight. Shame on me for not coming out here sooner. I've lived in Flagstaff for over a year now. Water catch. Looks lovely, doesn't it? Looks like shit floating on the top. Well, this is not nearly as bad as I thought. I mean, I got this out of there. So maybe the key is you gotta dip it down underneath the sludge on the top. Today is June 15th, 2020, and there just seems to be a lot going on in the world. We've got a potential second wave of COVID-19 coming. There's mass protests going on, sparked off by the killing of George Floyd. Rightfully so, protests. And it's just good to get out and go on a little backpacking trip. You know, very grateful that I can make that happen. I'm down here at the Grand Canyon, as you can see. This is Plateau Point. I'm just down here for the day. Yeah, I don't want to record my own death, so I'm not going to try to go down any further. I don't want to be that guy in the canyon, you know?
In this video, I'm gonna talk about my $30 car camping setup. This thing doubles as sort of like a eating table, and then basically I take this thing, and then it's a bed. Yeah, it's not too bad. There's my GoPro for scale. It's a pretty big tarantula. I think I'm here. Whoa. Holy shit. It's a really big cliff. I think it's too steep for me here. I mean, I'm just not comfortable going up that. I think I found someone's hideout. Look at that, man, a keyboard. Definitely didn't think I would find a keyboard up here on this mountain. Man, I'm fucking out of shape, dude. I gotta start running, riding a bike. Jesus, doing something. It's ridiculous. Yeah. That's some sketchy shit. I think we're almost there, man. Dude, this thing is kicking my ass. Yeah, I gotta start doing some sprints. This is redonkulous. My mouth is dry. I got a half a liter of water left. A couple new cuts today. That's a good one. And there it is on the side. I know I got a good one there. I felt it. Yeah. And I got stabbed by one of those agave plants. Real glad I pushed it, man. I haven't been doing that lately. Feels good to accomplish something where you had a little bit of doubt settling in, you know? Yeah, Mount Eldon was one of the first mountains that I hiked to the top of when I first moved here about a year ago. 9,299 feet. Yeah. Nice. This is a really cool little hike. It's got really nice views and all these like cinder cone caves. But there was also a huge settlement from the Sinagua people in this area. I think the last settlement was in 1320s or something like that. That's what the information board at the beginning of the hike at the trailhead says. It's a good spot to live. I think the Sinagua were onto something. I bet there's some amazing stars up here at night. It's just so peaceful in here. It's so quiet. There's no wind. Got this beautiful view. Yeah, this is a cool hike. You get to see a lot of the different features around the San Francisco volcanic field. That's pretty cool, right? And check out some petrified wood today. It's a little warmer than I thought. It's hard to judge in the desert, you know. You get out and you're like, you initially get out in the heat, in the dry heat, and you're like, it's not too bad. And then you start walking around it, doing something active, and the heat just like exponentially rises, but it's not as hot as the Grand Canyon, man. I've never been anywhere like that. Well, I have a really cool piece of petrified wood at one point in time. This was part of a tree many millions of years ago, and now here it is in my hand. Well, the Petrified Forest National Park was really cool. I'm glad I made the drive out there. It's only about an hour and 45 minutes from Flagstaff, but this was kind of a drive just to test out the car too. This thing performed very well. I got a new timing belt put on it, and I personally replaced the power steering pump last weekend. It seems to be driving fine, so I'm hoping to put many more miles on this thing. This is crazy, man. I've never walked through a burn area before. Damn. Fire is so destructive, and this was man-made, so gotta obey those fire
like regulations, man. Be bold and start cold, they say. Not too cold, man. I gotta put my jacket on. Even had to put on my little hobo gloves. Just like that, within about 10 or 20 minutes of putting on layers, it was time to take them off again. There's like a really old car down here. I'm gonna go check it out. Man, this thing is really old. It's got a couple bullet holes in it. Here, I'll do like this for the back. You can really see the damage from the museum fire up here. That's actually where I was in the last video. Yeah, it's just been a good day though. Just been hanging out. I'm glad I didn't try to push it. All right, leaving Flagstaff. As you can see, I got the car loaded down. I definitely accumulated some shit here, but there'll be no picking up hitchhikers on this one. This is my last drive through Flagstaff. Last look at Mount Eldon right there. Gonna miss this town, but I'll definitely be back. It's been a good 2 years here, for sure. The Pacific Crest Trail is a 2,650 mile long hiking trail in the western United States that extends from the US-Mexico border all the way to the border with Canada. In May of 2021, I set out to hike the entire trail starting at the border with Mexico. The southernmost section is known as the Desert, which is roughly 700 miles long, and going north from there are the other 4 sections known as the Sierra, Northern California, then Oregon and Washington. Well, this is where it starts. Oh man, it's gonna be a good few next months. There's Mexico, man. I've never seen the border before. Pretty cool. Just like that, I'm a thru hiker again. So 1 mile down, 26:49 to go. Ramen on the menu, creamy chicken. Good old ramen. We meet again. It's a hot day today, a lot of climbing. It'll take a couple hours here. The sun going down, it's nice and cool. Perfect for hiking. That heat is no joke. So it's around 12:45 on Saturday, May 15th, and I think I just woke up to an earthquake. It felt like I was in a car and somebody was moving the car, like kicked it with their foot. But I don't know, I could have just been dreaming or something. About a week down now. I just passed 100 miles today, actually. Getting back into the swing of thru hiking is really difficult, and I remember how difficult the AT was, or maybe I was just more determined to do it back then when I was a young gun in my 20s. I think I'm gonna stick with this again. I'm back in a good mindset. Yesterday was good. Today's been a good day. A weekend, only getting to 100 miles. I mean, I guess that's pretty good. You know, I'm basically coming off the couch. I wouldn't say I was in tremendous shape starting this, but you know, glad to be out here again. It's a really beautiful trail. There's the landscapes. It's almost like you wake up, there's a view, you walk all day and there's a view. On the AT, you're fighting all day to get to a view, and then you sit at the viewpoint and you enjoy it. But it's almost like out here, there's just a view all day, a beautiful view. It's a really cool trail, man. I'm definitely loving it out here.
About to step on the ramp.
Okay, see?
See you later, dude. You don't have to buzz at us. We're not bothering you.
It's actually kind of cold today, cold and windy, which is strange because 2 days ago it was like boiling hot in here. There's a lot of blowdowns in this area. This one looks fairly fresh. You can see the grass underneath it is still alive. So a couple days ago it was really windy up here, but this definitely makes for slow going through here. Look at this thing. That's a good water source right there. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Just trying to deal with the extreme ups and downs of doing a thru hike. I've definitely thought about getting off trail several times already. Man, I'll just go through these intense moments of like, F this, I'm gonna get off in the next town. That's how I feel. And then like I'll just get something to eat, go to sleep, wake up the next morning, and it'll be a completely different feeling of wanting to stay and complete this thing. I feel like if I go home, I mean, I'm not trying to prove anything doing this shit, but if I go home, I'm gonna get depressed in like 2 weeks. I'm gonna feel like I made the wrong decision. I don't know, but once I get through the desert, I'll be able to reassess like my mileage and estimate if it's actually feasible or not for me to make it all the way to Canada. Having a late start date, it's definitely something that's going to be a challenge. And if it seems like I'm going to have to run 30 miles a day after I get through California, then I don't know if it's going to be worth trying to finish, and maybe it would be good to get off. I'm still committed to trying to make it to Canada. I'm not like setting myself up for failure in my mind, but or maybe I am. I don't fucking know. Only been on the trail for, let me see, a little over 2 weeks now. Look at this tree, dude. Look at this thing, man. Holy shit. This is probably a 400-year-old tree. Crazy, man. I don't even know if all of it's in the shot. Let me see. Look at it, man. It's crazy. Huge. Must have had a giant chainsaw to cut that. Oh, look at all the windmills. Pretty sure we cross through a windmill field tomorrow, maybe the next day. Dude, this heat is no fucking joke. Dude, I'm on a night hike tonight. Like, I can't do it in this heat. There's San Jacinto right there. Can't believe I was up and over that one. It's cool. Man, these clouds are definitely giving me a good break from the heat today. Much appreciated. I don't know if I'm cut out for this thru hiking business anymore. I always wondered, like, could I do it again? Because it was such a highlight of my life. Such like a rewarding thing that I did to be able to complete this long trek from Georgia to Maine. It was such a, like, cloud 9 is where I was at when I was finished. And I don't know if I'm just trying to chase that feeling back down again. And honestly, even if I go all the way to Canada, is it really going to be as rewarding as the first thru hike? I really don't think it will be. I like the spots of the day where it's like this, where I'm just chilling, but there's a lot of lonely days. It's just me a lot of the time. And you're up on this mountain and you're looking at this desolate landscape and you're the only one. Feels like you're the only one on the planet, which is cool. I like that feeling sometimes, but I don't want to experience that for 6 months. I don't think that that's healthy. I'm already loner enough. I don't need to be doing that for the next 5 months. Am I just lost? What's that? Not all who wander are lost, but some are. I don't know, man. Am I lost? Such a strong word. Sounds like I'm just lost. I'm hopeless. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with being lost. I think there's people who have houses, big careers, and they feel lost. I think feeling lost is a normal part of being a human being if you're being honest with yourself. Man, that's some good creek water right there. Warma. Dude, check it out, man. 300 miles on the PCT through the hot-ass desert. Oh, man. Yes. Yes, sir. That's pretty cool. Echo! Oh, I've never heard one like that. The last two vlogs that I did, I was kind of talking about quitting a lot, but I don't know, this stretch has made me want to push on. At first, I think I was just kind of overwhelmed with how difficult the desert is, but now I'm kind of okay, challenge accepted. You know what I gotta do, right? It definitely looks otherworldly. I can see why they chose this place for so many successful Hollywood movies. Star Trek, The Twilight Zone, Planet of the Apes. Ape no kill ape. So I just set my tent up for the day. Was about to do a little siesta in the heat of the day. And I'm not kidding you, there's a huge rattlesnake 2 feet from my tent. I'll flip the camera around and show you guys. Don't fail me now, Zipper. See him? Dude, he's right there, dude. It's a huge snake. Definitely a western rattler. He's looking at me. Bro, I don't want any trouble. Oh, there he goes. Look at that tail, man. I don't think he's coming towards me, so that's good. This is why I set my tent up during siesta time. This is a screenshot of where I was and in relation to the heat wave, and I heard it was 113 in Palmdale, California, which is fairly close by. I feel like I've been doing these last 4 days with just no sleep, just sleep deprived. I feel like starting this stretch was easy, but when the heat started coming in, you could really feel it. I thought there wouldn't be a difference because it has been in the low 90s. And I'm 90s, 100, what's the difference? But no, you can feel it, man. There's definitely a tipping point. 500 miles on the PCT in a burned area. Very cool. So glad to be out of the desert. Such a good decision, skipping ahead. We're up here right now, almost 10,000 feet. I think that's Mount Whitney. I just crossed over into Sequoia National Park. Getting a little rain today, as you can maybe see. This is the first day that I've hiked in rain on the entire PCT. I'm not kidding you. So glad to be in the Sierra. There it is, that's Mount Whitney. It's the tallest mountain in the lower 48 United States. Well, not doing Mount Whitney on this hike. I am here in Yosemite National Park. Updates, man. The altitude got me. I did not know it was gonna affect me like that. I was trying to go over Forester Pass and I crashed really hard. Man, I just couldn't make it. I had a sharp headache, the shakes, all signs of altitude sickness. Man, I just crashed again at the ranger station. It's I couldn't recover from you know, bonking at 12,000 plus feet. Yeah, man, I ended up hitting the SOS on the Garmin, which is pretty crazy. It took like 20 hours for me to recover after bonking. I felt like shit for like 20 hours. Had a headache, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat anything. So that was what was most concerning. I was like, man, I really didn't know if I was gonna be able to make it out on my own 2 feet. This is fucking crazy, man. That's the sun. That's when I realized that my PCT adventure was over. It just was not the year for me. I ended up hitchhiking into Reno, Nevada, and I caught a flight back home. And I feel like I made a good decision when I looked out the window of the plane and I could just see smoke everywhere. Basically, man, I had just had enough of thru hiking this year. The PCT, I think it's a really tough trail. I'm really happy with the experience that I had on the trail. I am super grateful and super privileged to have gone out there, hiked 600 plus miles of the PCT, and yeah, man, it was incredible. Met a lot of really amazing people. I don't want to drone on about this, man. This is my I quit video. I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't do it. Gorgeous. Cool.
Go on, Bear.
Lots of bear activity, man. I've only been here for 3 days. I've seen 9 bears. That was bear number 9 in 3 days. That's a lot of bears. No sketchy bears. That was kind of a smaller guy, but he was very curious about me. I actually got the bear spray out. Better safe than sorry. Oh, gorgeous. Good to be back in the Smokies. This is gonna be the monthly vlog for December 2021. I'm here in my room. I got a new office chair, so that's pretty exciting. I'm renting out someone's garage here in Asheville. This is gonna be the monthly vlog for January 2022. Yeah, man, as you can tell from the title, I caught the COVID. I'm out here on the Mountains to Sea Trail, just outside of Asheville, North Carolina. I'm not going all the way to the sea today, which is quite a distance. I thought I would get out in nature, but I didn't realize this is right beside the Blue Ridge Parkway. So I'm like, it's nice and peaceful. Whoa! I'm on my way to the tallest mountain east of the Mississippi, and it is way colder than I thought it was going to be today. I might turn back on this one and just take a ride down the Blue Ridge. I'm like maybe 2.5 miles from the top, but I'm just not feeling it, man. Man, I feel like I'm gonna get hurt. I'm gonna like stumble and fall if I don't turn back now. Looking like really lightheaded and like AMS symptoms almost.
Heading out to Chimney Rock today. Gonna check out this state park and natural rock formation. Should be a good day. I'm here with the dude. What a classic movie that is, The Big Lebowski. Yeah, man, I'm on a planet right now. It's the only thing I've ever done is be on a planet. Unfortunately, right? It is early March 2022, and I am out here on the Appalachian Trail. It always feels like I'm going home whenever I come to this trail. Like I've fallen into the worker life. Or it's like kind of what I'm doing with my life is just working and sleeping. Very minimal time to do this. Trying to figure out what's next for me, and I really don't know. I have no idea. The good old white blazes. I have actually left my job. I've left my place in Asheville. All right, I'm packed up and I'm leaving Asheville. Got the car loaded up. Yeah, it's a little cramped in here, isn't it? Yeah, man, I'm no longer living in Asheville, and I'm planning some more travels. I'm gonna be doing some traveling again. Today I'm gonna show you what is all in my car camping setup. Yeah, this is my like folding table. Right now it's in the table mode. Yeah, maybe doing some hiking on this road trip, this upcoming road trip. Yeah, definitely follow along if you guys wanna check out my road trip this summer. Today was pretty cool. I saw some bison. Did you know that? Did you know there were bison in Kentucky? Dude, these are the loudest cicadas I've ever camped near. They're like giving me a headache. I don't even know, can you guys even hear me? I've decided that I'm gonna end this trip, man. I'm just too hot. Just kind of unsure of my car being able to do this. I just don't feel like I'm gonna enjoy these next few weeks doing this. Not at this time of year. I do believe that solo travel is a really beneficial thing to do. It's given me so much. But I kind of feel like I'm at a crossroads where I'm in my 5th solo trip. This is my 5th time escaping the real world and going on one of these long, extended travel trips. And I just don't know if I'm gonna gain as much from it this time. Cool, man. Rock arches in Tennessee, who knew? I am out of shape. Pretty cool, man. There's a bear over there. I'm just giving him plenty of room.
So in 2023, I made it back to Europe, but it started out as a family trip. I actually went there to meet my 1-year-old Australian nephew for the first time, and really nothing I could have done would have been able to top that. That was just spectacular. But after a couple weeks, my family all flew back home, and I stayed in Europe to do some more solo traveling. I traveled in Italy, Spain, Switzerland, and the Netherlands. It was kind of a sporadic trip, and I had plans to do a lot more, but I ended up cutting it short. Since 2021, I've been having this medical issue that's been steadily getting worse. That's kind of the reason why I cut this trip short, and I decided to come home and really have it looked into.
Totality!
In August of 2024, I found out that I have celiac disease, which is a genetic autoimmune disorder. It's going to make traveling and backpacking a little more difficult, but not impossible as long as I can avoid eating gluten. And I'm going to be fine. You know, I'm just glad that now I know what's making me feel sick, and I'm taking steps to move forward with it. And now here we are in 2025. This was a really fun video for me to edit. Really cool looking back on all my travels like that. I'm currently looking for work as a video editor, and I'm honestly not too certain what the future holds for me. I just hope this video motivates someone out there to travel or go on a hike, and that's all I'm trying to do with this channel. I just want to inspire others out there to go see the world. So thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you in the next one.